What's up, everyone? My name is Candace Smith, and this is Duval Connect Magazine. And as you can see, I am here with none other than the lovely Nadeya 2020. And you may have seen her with me for Fat Tabulous Magazine. She's done some things. We've been in a few videos together, collaborated on a few things. And now she's here with Duval Connect because that's how partnership works. Hey, wherever I go, she goes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's just how it is because I love what you do. I love the topics that you discuss, which is sex and intimacy, relationships, Black lives.
Black lives.
Yes,
It
so
matters, people. It
right,
matters.
right. Yes. So I just love it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, your experiences, or a little bit about what you do as far as that?
Okay, as Miss Candace already said, I'm Nadeya 220, and I work on the columns with her. We do a little collaboration or whatever. My background is in the social psychological behavior of African Americans with emphasis in human sexuality. That's what I do. And I just go around and I try to help people see how behaviors affect relationships. One thing that I want people to understand, they say, okay, let's start here. People always say, well, what is behavior and human sexuality and how that comes together? I believe that 99% of behavior is learned, 1% is innate, and everything that surrounds us affects how we behave, what we grew up with and everything like that. Human sexuality, because we come in contact with people all day, our relationships, you know, how we choose our mates and things of that nature. We need to have an understanding of why we choosing our mates and things like that. So that's just a little spiel about what I do and how it goes.
I love it. I feel like it's really important for the Black community to have more conversations about how our behaviors affect relationships because, you know, they do. And I didn't always know that. I'm grateful for learning that because that has helped all of my relationships. A relationship in particular is the relationships between me and my sons, which brings us to your latest article, which discusses mothers' relationships with their sons. Tell us a little teeny bit about it, because we don't want to give too much. You got to get the magazine to get the article, period.
Right. The new article that's coming out will probably vex a lot of us because these are things that we never thought about, you know, on a deeper level of how being a mother, our behavior, our ways, how they groom our children, our sons, to have them see women, you know, how they interact with women. We're their first teachers. We are the first love of their lives as women, you know, and so we have a big role to play on their mate selection in the future. You know, a lot of things that we do while raising our children will play a major role on who they choose and how they go about dealing in relationships when they get older. So that's basically, in a little hedge, what the new article's about.
Absolutely. You guys, it blew me away. I'm not going to lie, because she poses some questions that, you know, you can ask yourself as a mother to see if maybe there's some trouble areas. Maybe there's some things you might need to acknowledge, correct, you know, even talk to your sons about. We talked. We talked before this interview a little bit, and I shared about, you know, I guess when I noticed certain things, and I can't say that I came into motherhood, of course, knowing everything. I did not. I was young. I didn't know anything. And, you know, just over the course of time, I began to see how my relationships were, you know, and it took a romantic relationship for me to see, okay, I have relationships with my mom, I have a relationship with my sister, I have a relationship with my sons. You know, how are those relationships? How much effort and energy am I putting into it versus my romantic relationships? How more sweetly do I talk to him versus my sons? When me and the person I'm with when we're in conflict, how am I going about resolving that conflict versus with my sons? That's how stuff started showing up for me. And it was like, ooh, no,
Like a
that's,
reality check moment.
yeah, that was for real a check moment. And it was not just no quick check. It wasn't a quick check. It wasn't a quick fix. It still isn't, because certain things just have been so rooted into the way I behave that I didn't know I was behaving in that way. And
Right.
so I'm grateful for it even coming to my mind, because I've always wanted to be the best mom, and just be a good mom to my sons and give them the best that they can have. And it's like, to know that that's what you want to do, and then maybe to discover that's not what you're doing, is a big punch. You know what I mean? It's like, you
Right.
thought you was doing good, sight, so that was a big deal. And it was a big deal. It was such a big deal to me that I put my life on hold. I was like, look, God, I know they in middle school, because they both were, but I was pregnant too with my third son.
Okay.
And I said, I don't want to work no more. I need to give them me. I need to give them a good me. That means I need time to work on me. And then I can kind of work on all of us together.
Right.
And that's the plan. And that's been the plan since 2015. It's 2021. And I still been living like that, homeschooling since then, and just trying to be different, trying to have a different relationship with them, because it was like, you are, whether or not they're going to hate women or love women.
Right. I think that's very key when it comes to mothers in general. I know we talked prior to about single mothers, but I just want to encompass it all as mothers, because we really do set the playing field for our sons on whether or not they will respect women, whether or not they're going to love women, they're going to communicate effectively with women, situations where, being married and your spouse is having a bad day, how you're going to respond to your spouse in that moment teaches your child how their spouse should respond to them. A little quick, little simple something. So say for instance, a mother who's always running around and, she's calling her children, her sons out their names, and you MF this, you this, that, you a nigga, you this, you that, you da 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 da. You right. She's the first individual who's supposed to show her sons love.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But these are the names. This is the arrangement that she has, instituted into her home. So
Right.
when her son gets older and he goes out to look for a mate, do you think that he's honestly going to look for that mate that's sweet talking him? Hey, sweetie, you're handsome or this and that and the other. He's not going to be able to understand that.
Right.
Because the first individual that said, I love you and cared for you, called you MFs, called you niggas, and this, that, and the other. So that's the identification of love that they have from women, and that's what they got from their mom. So it's like motherhood, I believe it's a calling. You have to look upon this in a much bigger thing. A lot of women can't have kids. So you can't say, oh, every woman can have kids. No, it's a calling. God said yes to your egg and that sperm, and it produced. It doesn't happen like that for everyone. So I think we need to just look at our callings a little bit different so that we can raise men, young men who respect women, who love women, who are not held down by that dogmatic attitude that a man is not supposed to cry, not supposed to embrace a woman, hug a woman, love on a woman, those things. And we have to teach our sons these things, as well as the men do as well. But how we respond to our situations, I think, is very important, because it gives them an ideal set mind on who woman is and who they're supposed to be in their lives.
Yeah, that teaching part is true, because, I realized I had to be so intentional. You know what I mean? Like, I still do. I have to learn how to respond before I can respond to a lot of things, in all honesty, because I learned the wrong way of how to respond to things. So when things happen, I can't just trust my gut.
Right. No, you can't.
But yeah, I have to say, okay, now I want to do this,
Right.
but how is he going to receive that? Is he going to get a message? Is he going to learn? What is the way that you learn? Do you learn by somebody responding this way? Those are some things I began to ask myself for, like, just, I don't know. It would be a gut punch to hear it too, because in that moment you want to act differently. You want to maybe do different. Like, I never cussed out my kids or nothing like that, but I can say, like, when they do certain things, my response is not always impatience. It's like impatient and
Right.
hurry and rush, because that's my personality a little bit too.
Right.
And it's like, no, I don't want them to have that experience.
Right.
Want them to know me in that way, because I'm not always that way. I
Right.
treat a lot of people with a lot of patience. So how dare I not do my own children with, like, they get the most patience. They
Right.
should get the best of me. And I have to tell myself that that's not something that just comes. And I don't, this is Duval Connect Unfiltered.
Right.
Not gonna put on for nobody. It's not easy.
Oh,
It,
no, ma'am.
yeah, it don't
You
come
know,
natural.
I mean, I study behavior. This is what I do. Um, but I am not exempt from trials and tribulations and from monitoring my own behavior when it comes to my son, my family, my relationships, or anything like that. So there's literally times where I might be flustered off something completely different and it doesn't have anything to do with my son. And here he goes and just do a little something that can trigger the whole downfall effect. Okay, this is a normal day. This is a normal day, And at that moment, sometimes I'm like, I just want to gut punch this nut right here because this doesn't even make sense that he did that like that, But then it's like, okay, if I gut punch him, how would he think that a woman's supposed to treat him? Do I want my son to think that a woman's supposed to walk up to him and hit him? I dare not, because she gonna have to roll up on moms if she hit my son. Right. So I'm not going to teach him that a woman is supposed to hit him because I don't want to put him in a position where he might have to lay hands on her. Then he wind up going to jail. So I look at all that before I even react to my son sometimes. And sometimes I just be like, Jesus. Because that's all that's literally all I have at the time is Jesus, help me to get to the next.
Help you.
Right. And there's literally been times where I stood in the middle of the floor looking up to God, like, Lord, you see your child standing right here in front of me. Now, I don't know what to say to this kid. I need you to tell me what to say to this kid. Right. I want him to be here tomorrow. Because I don't know if he's going to be here tomorrow, by the way things are smoothing out, So it's like I am constantly checking my behavior, like how will this affect him? If I do this, how will this affect him? Because my primary priority is raising a man, period. A man.
Me too.
That's it. That's all. I need to raise a man who's considerate, who's courteous, who's kind, where someone's daughter would be happy with my son.
That's the dream. That's the goal. And I feel like in the past, maybe mothers didn't see it in that way. And I'm not even talking about the mothers that are maybe mean or harsh on their sons. Right. Sometimes even in the overprotective areas, I've learned that does not help.
Right.
With them in the long run to be so overprotective, and I learned that with me and my mom, because there would be situations happening in my life in relationships. And when I was younger, I valued having that little intrusion of, well, you need to do this and you need to handle it like this. But then when I became an adult and you just taking over and you just, it's like these are the times where I'm supposed to learn how to resolve my own conflict, and I'm supposed to learn how to do it right, and you supposed to stand on the side and coach and guide. But instead you all, and I see that a lot with sons because I have 3 baby daddies.
And you gonna put a period right there?
Period.
Well, you know what? You are not the only one, I guarantee, that have dealt with relationships where the father's mother is so intertwined in their life at the age of 45 and 50 years old.
I've learned to just not say certain things. I'm just gonna,
You know,
they know.
you know, and this, you know what? One thing I've learned too: women know when you did not raise the man that you thought that you raised.
Right.
You know that as a woman. You know that what you taught your son, if you had your child or your children in areas where they might have seen you being abused or, you know, things of that nature, and you didn't get out of that situation, or you might have been abusive, and you sent that young man out into the world and you expected him to be a good father and a great husband. And you know under your skin that that's not what you raised.
Right. They really do know that, and sometimes make excuses for it, you know, and yeah, still try to say they're good and this and cover. And, you know, I see sometimes like a codependency between the mothers and their sons, like on the mother's part, and it develops to where it's like now the son is codependent and they love it. You know what I mean? And it's like now my son doesn't get the father that he needs because he's still trying to be a son to you.
Right.
I didn't mean to get all into this. You know what I'm saying?
But it's because all of us at some point or another have dealt with a mama's boy. I'm gonna say it like that. You know, and that's one thing. I don't want to raise a mama's boy. You know, I want him to be able to stand. Know that I'm here for you.
Right.
You know I'm here for you. But if you get into it with your spouse, don't run to my house. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, because I've had that done. You know, you get into it with your spouse and you want to run to your mom, and your mom put you up for 7 days.
Right.
What,
you know,
what type of how do you deal in a marriage when you have an in-law that's like, well, son, you can stay with me for 7 to 10 days and it's okay, even though you have a wife and child at home. So how it is a codependent relationship, and in some sense it's kind of sick, because in a sense she made her son her mate without the sexual relationship. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
it does happen because, you know, when mothers are not fulfilled by their husband or spouse, or like even in my case being a single mom, right, I gotta keep an eye out on that. I like make sure you get your social things, make sure I'm not pulling on you to the point where I'm holding you back. Right. I can't need you so much. Like my son is 19, he does a lot for me. Right. You know, but I can't need him so much that I can't allow him to live his life and grow up. I was on another meeting last night and I looked and it's 9 something. I'm like getting ready to get my phone. And I was like, wait a minute, he's 19. He's called already to say this and that. So calm down. And
I have a question. Mm-hmm. How did you go about dating? Like you said, you have 3 fathers. Yep. So how did you go about dating from the first child? How did you go about dating when it came to the second father?
Well, I was still young with him and I got set up on a double date, like a blind date. And we met like that. And how we dated, we just mainly talked over the phone, and things happened super quick. Okay. Super quick with us. It was just a super quick thing where I just fell head over heels. Okay. He apparently did too. Right. You know, we had a rocky 6-year thing, you know, whatever. But after that, you know, I had periods of dating, and I kind of just, you know, when they would be with their dads, I would be kind of free to do things. I would talk on the phone. I wasn't too much like that come to my house type of thing. it was a lot of people that my kids maybe had seen them at church,
Okay.
or they've seen them in other settings, and so they're comfortable with them.
Right.
They see us hanging out, not necessarily, we on
Right.
the sofa, not necessarily like that. It's like, oh, we all playing some games. We're gonna play cards. We're gonna hang out, and then it just develops into something else. And a few times as they got older, I set them down and talk to them. Just recently I told them that I may be wanting to start back dating, because we talk about stuff now. We just talk about it. And I told my oldest son, I said, I would not bring another man in this house unless that man is my husband and we'll talk about it.
Right.
Because he's 19.
Right.
And I just don't foresee me doing that on any level. I just don't. It won't be where they'll be coming into my house. I don't foresee that happening. I foresee, things just transitioning differently in the way we live.
It's a real epidemic where young ladies have children and they might not be with the father anymore, but they do not hesitate to bring another man up around their children.
Yeah.
And then that might not last long. And then they don't hesitate to bring another man up around their children. I've seen so many women move men in and out of their homes, be it if they have sons or daughters, and I just look at it like, well, what are you telling your children non-verbally at that point? What are you saying to your children? Even a woman having daughters, are you saying to your children that it's okay as a woman to have a couple of men in and out your house? Is that okay? Are you saying to your sons that it's okay as a woman? Because that'll bring a level of distrust for young men. Because I seen mama have about 4 or 5 men run up and through. So how am I supposed to trust this woman on what she's saying?
Right.
I don't necessarily live with her, So it's just like, I see that a lot. As for me, I like me being in the area that I am right now, going through a process with my husband where we are no longer together. It's just like, okay, I look at dating, how that's going to look after 18 years, what that's going to look like. And I would dare not even, like you said, bring another soul into this house, around my son. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, dating is outside of the house. Dating down the street around the corner somewhere, because everybody don't need to know the location to the back cave anyway.
Seriously, I can honestly say I didn't always think that way. I just didn't. I didn't see it that way. I just realized a lot of stuff like, wait a minute, now I see that the relationships that I really felt like was going to be, forever, they didn't make it. So I can't continue to just make this decision, even though I may feel like it's forever, or I may feel like this is the one, or this is going to work out. I see that it's not doing that. So now I got to do things differently. And I think that's just for me how it was. It was like, okay, girl, we done went through 3 forever. I think we need to do something differently here. So it was like, okay, I can't keep doing it in this way. And even when I was going to talk to my son this time, I was nervous, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I want to respect him. I want to respect how he feels. So if he like, mama, then it's like, okay, now what? So I was a little nervous to see, and he was like, good, mama, you should. You should. I want you to be happy. I want you. He was like, for it. I'm like, well, not yet. Ain't nobody.
Trying to push you out. Go, mama, go, go, go. I mean, I think ultimately our sons, even though we have attachments to them the way that we do, they want us happy.
Yeah.
They want mama to be happy. I told my son that I was going to go out on a date. He had his list of questionings. Of course he did. Who is this guy? Where did you meet him at? Where are you going? He's 17. And I gave him every answer to the questions that he asked.
Yeah.
Because at this point, he's making sure I'm protected. He's giving me the checkmate that I need. Okay, this is where we're going. This is the time I'll be home, son. Leave the light on for me. Stay up. I'm coming home at a decent hour, because even in that, I want him to see when he starts to dating, if you have someone daughter out and that man or that woman say bring their daughter home at a certain time, you respect those wishes.
Right.
That gives you a good outlook from parents when you have their daughter in at 9 o'clock and not 10:30, 11 booty cheek hours. You know, bring her in at a respectable hour so they can know, you know, everything is safe. So what I did, I made sure I came home about 8 o'clock, 8:30, so he can know that it ain't booty time. It was just dinner time and conversation.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm right back in the house. So our behavior play a lot. Even I think when you opened up the doors to start communicating with your son about dating, it just brought the relationship a little bit closer.
Yeah, it did, because he been asking me. He followed up. I said, well, I said it's not, I just felt like I wanted to. I was not saying that. I was not trying to hint at nothing.
Right.
It's nothing. I just really did feel like, okay, I think I'm feeling like, you know, if somebody comes into my life, I'm open, you know what I mean? And I want to talk about it with my sons. I want them to be okay with whatever, you know, I do like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. See, and that's what you did. You made your sons the priority, not the relationship the priority. Because like you just said, I want to make sure my sons are okay.
Yeah.
That's the priority. And I think as mothers, if we look at it like that,
Yeah.
not looking at what we're losing. Oh, I can't date because I have kids, or he's taking my life away, and you know, things of that nature. Because a lot of women can get down, they can talk down on their situation, thinking that it's more of a burden instead of a blessing.
Right.
You know, so I think the minute that we say, okay, look, whatever I'm doing, as long as I make sure my children are first and foremost, then I think it'll, you know, give us a better generation in generations to come and generations to come. It'll shape it better.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much, because my children has busted in. So I guess that means it's about that time. I would bring him over here, but he had only his drawers. Go back out until I'm done, okay, boo? Okay. You know, just hold on. Yes, just wait. I thought he was gonna pull. I'm hungry.
Right.
You know, right when you want to, right when you doing something like you don't have crumbs.
Right. Did you just
snack?
I see a little snack on the side.
You just got through eating something, but he was like, I'm thirsty.
Okay.
Like, okay. Yeah. So anyway, speaking of sons.
Right. Always.
Right. Okay, but thank you for this. This is going to be the first episode of Duval Connect Unfiltered. So we'll get to talk to each of the writers and columnists and talk to them about their articles. They'll give us some more insight. And like I said, I enjoyed this article so much. It really hit home for me. I hope that you all enjoyed it as well. Definitely go to Duval Connect .blogspot.com and check out the latest issue of Duval Connect and all the articles. And Nadeya, where can everyone find you? How can they sign up for your services? Tell them, please.
Okay, so you can catch me at Nadi220 on Instagram and Nadi220 on Facebook. Nadi Sex and Intimacy on Instagram and Facebook. You can reach me at nadisexandintimacy@gmail.com. I do a 30 for 30 service where it's 30 minutes, $30, 30 minutes of conversation. Bring your issues, let's just talk, release, let's relate, and let's do better.
Amen. And yes, I have done my $30 30 minutes. I need to do my second session, but I'm gonna get there, and y'all need to check it out because it was a good session. Like, I needed every bit of that. I got some homework. I still been reflecting on some of the things that you've been saying. It's been very, you know how you've been in my life already.
Yes. And I blossoming though. I must say that if you do use the tools that you are given to heal in certain areas that I give you, it will be a change in your life. I guarantee it will be a change. I've seen a difference in Candace. You know, it's just like a radiance. And I've been telling her that for the past couple of weeks now. Like, she just started radiating, and it's from the inside out. Things are being lifted, you know, and so that's what you want. And now she's saying that she's open to dating because she wasn't before.
Sure wasn't. Sure wasn't. Was shut down.
Completely, y'all. Yeah.
Completely. No movement, no action. Quarantine before it was a quarantine.
Right, right.
Just dry land. Just living in a dry land. It's a drought. Thank God it's an oasis.
Right.
For me.
Yes.
I feel like God, like, okay, these dry bones, they gonna live again.
Absolutely. They are. They are. Because I just see the difference already. They really are. Just even how you speak, the communication you've just said with your sons, all of it. Like I literally see a difference. God is good.
God is good. Thank you so much, Nadeya. I'm blessed every time we speak, and you all will be too if you check her out. Please go follow her. Check out all the information in the description box. Make sure you sign up for Duval Connect Unfiltered, because there will be more of this, and I can't wait to bring it to you. All right.
Where will the Unfiltered be at?
It's going to be on Patreon. I'm going to put this episode out on Duval Connect on Facebook, YouTube, put a clip out on Instagram, but Patreon is where Duval Connect Unfiltered is going to be. So you got to sign up and subscribe. Thank you for saying that. You got to sign up and subscribe. I'll have all that information in the description box. All right, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.